Previously on the Crenshaw Corner.
There's a moo-moo.
Wait a minute.
There's a bra. There's some leggings. A body shaper.
It was not all that in there, baby.
In the drawer.
It was not.
So I close it.
It was not all that.
Because I'm thought maybe I went to the wrong drawer. So I reopened it. And the same
And it
thing.
was still there.
It was still there. So at that point, I'm confused. So I let it go for a few minutes. I let it go. And it said, I wanted to see if it was maybe just a one-time thing. So I didn't say anything. You know, I just threw my little stuff in there. Came on out. Few days passed. I just took my stuff out the drawer. And then about a week passed. I just went back just to see.
And she had more stuff.
2 moo-moos, 3 bras, pair of socks.
Do not listen to him, family.
So then I brought it to my wife. I said, babe, ma'am, can I talk to you for a second? I just got a question. I was like, do you know how you said I have a drawer? I said, I'm noticing that it's some more stuff in that drawer. Well, hello there, family.
What's up? What's up?
I didn't see you there.
What's going on, y'all?
And welcome back to another edition of Crenshaw Corner. I am your host, Sanchez Crenshaw, and as always, I am joined by the absolute best part of my day.
You said that sexy, boo. That would be me, y'all. That's me. I got caught off guard. The
apple
that
of
would
my
be,
eye.
I am the apple of your eye.
The wind beneath my wing.
Guys, he is lifted up where he belongs, y'all. Lifted. Just
The
lifted.
rib that completes me.
He's completed.
The Miranda to my Steve.
Okay.
Now this one, if you don't get this one, I'm really revoking everything. I'm taking everything from you. For real.
Like Steve
You're going to be
Urkel?
in a hotel.
Like a Steve Urkel? Like, who is Miranda?
I didn't say Laura
Who
and
is?
Steve.
I don't even know nobody named Miranda.
Actually, you do. 4 friends.
Uh-huh.
One was a writer. Miranda was a lawyer.
Oh, Sex in the City.
How you not? That was your show.
That was my
How do you
show.
not do that?
I don't know. I think it's the way that you say stuff.
I said the name.
I think
I said Miranda.
No, I think because
and
I think
Steve.
the way that you say, I feel like it's a trick, and you be trying
How's
to
it a
trick
trick?
me. So I think the way you say it makes me feel like I don't know what I'm doing.
How you watched every episode?
I did. I even went to the
every
movies.
season. You drugged me to the movies.
I did. You the
it was
only guy.
155 people in the movie theater. I was the
only guy.
Well, I was the only straight dude
It's not that point. You was the only guy there. You were the guy.
in the theater. And then you gonna act like you don't know
no,
what I'm talking
I just felt
about.
like that was something else because you like to go back down memory lane. So I thought that was something
I
else.
gave you something that was right up your alley.
Yeah, that was messed up.
That's crazy.
I'm sorry.
Got a question for you though.
What up? What's going on, family?
Thank you very
What is
much.
going on, guys? I am Angela Crenshaw, guys. What is going on?
That's my wife, family. Family, that is my wife.
That's me.
Family, I am not going to do a long, drawn-out introduction. Not going to do it, only because I'm excited about the conversation we're about to have.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do the basic. Family, thank you. Welcome.
Yeah, we
we're so
appreciate
happy
you
you're here.
guys.
We're so happy you're listening.
Yeah.
However you're listening, whether it's on iTunes, whether it's on Podbean, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Amazon Music, whether it's Google Podcasts, whether it's iHeartRadio, on our own personal website at www.thecrenshawcorner.com. We thank you for listening.
Yes, we do.
Of course, we consider ourselves an interactive podcast, which means we can be
Yes.
found on the socials. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on TikTok, all under the Crenshaw
the
Corner.
talk. Yes,
and
we
of
are.
course, you can email us at any time at thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com. Once again, thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com.
Oh, that was a good, babe.
Had to keep it short, had to keep it sweet,
Listen.
because I'm excited.
I am excited too, but I got a question.
What's up?
Okay. You wanted to introduce and then I asked them the question?
Yeah, let's do that. Let the
go.
family know who's here
Go
first.
for it. Go for it.
So, family.
What's up, y'all?
What we did, so we had a episode not too long ago
Yes.
where we had 2 wonderful gentlemen come and sit down and have a conversation.
Hot mess. That's what I'm going to call
Don't
it.
do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. The episode was entitled Singularity.
Yeah.
And what we did is that we had 2 beautiful gentlemen come and talk about their experience about being single in 2022 from the male perspective.
Yes.
Well, we love talking to those gentlemen so much
Yes, we do.
that we invited them back for another conversation.
And they said yes, y'all. They
And
said yes.
So we're going to begin with gentlemen. Say hello to the family. Go to the beautiful man sitting in front of me first.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Brandon. We're back at it.
Back at it, boy.
Listen to him with that radio voice.
You heard, you see him?
Listen to him over there.
He over there. Come on, we back at it, y'all.
You know what I'm
What's
saying?
up?
trying to out sexy my voice. Don't out sexy
you
my
see
voice
him.
on my show. My friend, talk to him. Tell him who y'all get.
Hello, guys. This is Jay, a.k.a. Jnavian Hancock.
I am done. He's already starting. But go ahead. Go ahead, AKA. Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Yeah, this is me. I'm back again.
Yes.
No, but see, first of all, I got
Listen.
a problem. Before you even ask your question, I got a problem. Y'all not gonna come on my show and now sexy me on my show.
I'm back at it again.
Everybody went deep. I had to go, hey, I can get that too.
All right. So before we get into it,
Listen.
my baby has a question. What you got?
First of all, this don't have anything to do with this show.
Okay.
This is so out of the reach. It's just question for you guys.
Talk to
Have
me.
y'all ever been somewhere, right? And because this happened to me not a while, it's a while ago. Ever been somewhere with your family and y'all just chilling? And I mean, it's like a bunch of y'all, and they be like, "Go get Eddie," and y'all looking like, "Who the heck is Eddie?" You be like, "Who is Eddie?" And then they be like, right there, and you be talking about baby, because you have never in all your history.
Oh, yeah.
Have y'all ever experienced it? Like you had all your life, you never
No,
knew
I
your
don't-
family members' name.
I don't come from a hood family.
What?
No, I don't. We've never done
so
that.
y'all have never done nicknames.
We've never done that.
Y'all have never done nicknames. I've been with you 23 years. Y'all ain't never did nicknames.
I didn't know my uncle's name until I was like 12 years old. So yeah,
Uncle Jibo.
exactly.
Like no, for real. Like what is that about? I was like, I gotta ask people. Like, what is it?
How we get
Like
here?
because it happened to me a while back, and I was thinking about it the other day because somebody was asking about me, and they was like Peaches,
Right.
and they was like, who Peaches? So there's some people who know my real name, but the people who knew me from young do not have a clue who Angela is. They just thrown off all off. So I said, let me ask these guys, like, do you go somewhere and be like, and they be like, and you be like, who am I looking for? Like who? Like my kids have to go to the family reunion and be like, oh, I'm Peaches. They can't be like, I'm Angela. They gotta be like, oh, I'm Peaches' son or daughter. Because if they don't, they be like, baby, we don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Like it's so sad. Like have you ever felt bad? Like you finally found out what your
It's
uncle's
like-
name was?
Yeah, it's like when your kids call you by your first name. You be like, what?
First of all, that's disrespectful.
And they just be doing that as a joke just to see your reaction.
Because we were raised, don't you call your mama by her first name?
Oh yeah.
Once again, I don't come from I
What?
don't come from that type of family.
What?
Baby, what?
Maybe you do.
What?
Maybe you come from the hood family.
Is that what we're doing right now?
But I don't. We know everyone's name.
Do you really though, Uncle Jibo?
No, we don't. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's a different bloodline. That's a different bloodline.
I just wanted to know because that experience was like, wow. I
So
don't know their name.
family.
Hi
'Cause
guys.
I don't
we're
know.
back.
My wife is trying to derail it
I'm
even
not,
before we begin
I'm
the
not.
conversation.
I'm really
I don't know what
trying
just
to
happened.
derail it. I'm not.
So, family, here's what we want to do.
Yes.
As if you've listened to this show at any point in time, you know there's certain things that I'm very strong and passionate about, and the male voice is one of them. And giving men the platform and the opportunity to speak on subjects that are near and dear to their heart. So, what I wanted to do with this particular episode is have a conversation about a topic that I feel is not talked about enough, and that's the mental health of men. And so
Yeah.
what I wanted to do is have a conversation with these gentlemen. And because once again, we're coming from different generations here.
Yeah.
We're coming from different generations, different backgrounds, different, raised differently, and just start having an open and honest dialogue. So before we even begin, the first question I have is, Brandon, are you okay? How are you, sir? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Just been getting adjusted to my new job and all
Right.
that. So I'd say life is pretty good. I've had my ups and downs recently, but we're on the other side, so we're doing pretty good.
Jay, how you doing, man? How are you?
I think I'm good. I'm good. I'm pretty good. Yeah. I'm like Brandon, man. Is life hits you and you just got to keep doing. You got to keep going. It's like there's no stopping. And there's nothing I can do but get better. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
I have a question
How are you,
for you.
Sanchez, before you get started? How are you?
Me?
Yeah, how are you?
I am on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm a solid 5.
It's good. It's good.
I'm a
number.
solid 5.
Yeah.
I haven't tilted to serial killer as of yet.
Yeah. I
Hold
see
on,
where
which
you're
one's
going with
serial killer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one? Which number is that?
it. 7.
Seven, 6.5, 7.
7.
That's when I get to the serial killer phase. I haven't quite got there yet. Oh, because when I go, I'm an all or nothing type dude. It's like a Lay's chip. It won't just be one. It'll be prolific. So I try to stay under that number. But no, I'm good. I'm like Brandon. Professionally, I've had some ups and downs, some stressors, but we're on the other side of it now and kind of evened out. So I'm okay.
Yeah. I want to say this first of all before we get started.
What's up? Talk to me.
First of all, thank you guys for letting me be in the room, first of all, because this is really a conversation for you guys. But the fact that I'm honored that you guys said she could sit and I could sit in the room. So basically, I probably won't say a lot, probably just eavesdrop. So I need to get this to learn some things that I can pass on to my friends, you know, my women friends to hear your guys' heart as well. So I just want to say thank you that I get an opportunity to sit in the room with you guys. So thank you so much.
Because we love hearing from a woman's perspective as well.
Thank you.
So I'm going to start the dialogue with a question, because I know from me, speaking from my personal experience, I don't get the question a lot. How are you doing? I don't get it a lot. And the genuine, how are you doing? Not the surface, how's your day going? Because what I've come to find out, for some reason, when it comes to men, no one really cares how we're actually doing. It's how we benefit them. It's how we can take care of them. It's how we can nurture them. It's how we can cover them. So I'm curious, from your guys' perspective, do you see that as well? I mean, how often are you guys truly asked the question, how are you really doing? Do you get that question a lot? Do you not get it at all? I'm curious.
Well, other than the general, like, hey man, what's up? How you doing? Like, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's not like a real, like, how you doing? Like, how you doing for real? Like, my brother, like, how you doing? Like, so you never like conditioned to answer the question like you would want to answer at that time. So it's pretty much like a pass by. It's not like somebody calling you, asking you how you doing, man. You good? Like, I think you can really break it down. Like, sometimes you're like, you talk to your mom and she'll hear you in your voice. You'd be like, you all right? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you just crack. Mom, ain't all right.
Yeah. Right. Just being honest, it's real. It's real.
But yeah, I think just to get through the general, like I said, I don't know. What you think?
What about you, B?
I think majority of the time the default answer for a lot of guys is, yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing good. It just almost becomes so natural that you don't even have time to think about if you had a good weekend.
Yeah.
Right. But I would say that I have a couple of friends who might reach out every now and then, depending on how well they know my situation. They'll be like, yeah, how are you doing this week? How are you doing such and such? But it's not something on a daily basis of how you doing. Like you said, it's more of like a passing, like, it's not really genuine. It's just a saying or a good phrase to throw in a question.
So is it that, she said that, is it that the ones who do check on you have to first tell them that something's going on? It's not something they just calling to see how you're doing, but because they know that something's going on, every now and then they might just call just to make sure you're okay, because now they have a knowledge of what's been going on in your life. Is that what you mean, like that?
I had a friend that she went through some stuff through life, and she never had anybody to be that for her. So she take it on as her duty for all of her close friends, that she'll be the one to ask them how they're doing. Whether you had a great week, she wants to still reach out and make sure, like, are you doing all right? Are you really doing okay? Like, did you really have a good week at work or something like that? So it's more of her experiences that she just turned into a pattern that she wanted to incorporate in other people's lives.
Okay. Like you say she. Yeah. See, it's a different interaction when it's he. It's like I asked my son, how was school today? Good. What'd you learn? Stuff. But I don't even have to ask my daughter that question. Just women are more.
She coming through the door with it.
She coming through everything
Whole
that
notebook
happened
full of
from the
stuff.
time she walked through the door to the time she left, and then what they talked about as on the bus, while they was going. He did this to her, and he said that to them. Other stuff you got to pull out. You got to pull that out of my son. But it's just guys. Guys never. I don't think. Some guys might, but most guys I know is not going to really get into it in depth. How you doing? Like, man, how's your mental? How the fam? How y'all doing?
Wow.
So that leads me to another question. If someone did, would you honestly answer it? And if you wouldn't, why not? What keeps you from actually answering that question honestly?
Wow.
Because I'm going to be honest, I already know for Brandon, I know you don't always answer it. I'm just calling you out right here in the public airwaves. I know you don't always answer it honestly. So what keeps you from answering it honestly?
I think it's more of for me, my mentality is that I like to just get through things. I don't like to always have to talk about it. Because when I talk about it, then I got to kind of go through it or experience it. So I like to just, if I can forget about it, then I'm straight. But man, I've had some moments with Sanchez at my previous job. He came in and he asked me how I was doing. I said, I'm doing good, man. He said, no, you're not. Don't lie to me.
Don't lie.
Jay, what about
I think
you, man?
it depends on who the person is that's asking the question. Like I said, if it's mom, my sisters, sometimes my sister, Because sometimes I don't know if I like the advice coming from my sisters, you know, especially if the ones younger.
Right.
But if it was from my older sister, I might tend to listen to it more. But it was like his mom, my dad, like people that I like really have trust in. That's pretty much it. It's a trust thing when it comes to that. Because I don't know if you're going to really give me a good response, you know, what kind of response is going to, and what response is going to trigger me to keep giving you more information.
Gotcha.
I know for me, I'm gonna be honest. I don't answer it honestly. I keep it really surface. I keep it really minimum, and I move on because it's an uncomfortable conversation.
It is.
Because like you said, first of all, I gotta decipher too much. Can I trust you? What are you doing with this information? Why are you even asking? And so I gotta sift through much, and then of course my background comes to mind because the way I was raised different. I was raised different than, I'm not trying to be funny, but I was raised different than these new generation of dudes.
Yes.
Where everything with us was, if it ain't broke or bleeding, move on with your life. That was it. If it you coming to me, what are you crying for? Yeah. Is it broken? Are you bleeding? Even if it's bleeding, put a Band-Aid on and move on. Yeah. So I was never really given opportunity to really understand what it is to express myself, understand what it is to sift through my feelings or talk about my feelings. Because me growing up, first of all, you talk about your feelings, you're weak.
Yes.
So I don't know what your experience was like growing up. Did you guys experience something similar to that? Or what was it like for you? First of all, I guess the question is, were you guys ever taught as young men how to express yourself, how to talk about your feelings, how to talk about your emotions? Was that conversation ever had with you?
No, definitely not for me. See, my mom worked. She worked a lot, and she worked. She was from school to work.
Right.
So most of my day was spent with just me and my two sisters. But they going to play with their friends. I'm playing with my friends. Right. So when I go to my room, I'm in my room. So I usually just have to deal with stuff, figure stuff out on my own in my room. By the time mom get home, she's tired. Wow. So I don't want to go asking her a whole bunch of questions and going through all this stuff. And I ain't really know what the stuff was because you so young. Like, you just have to deal with stuff like pain and why is this like this? And I don't think I ever even had a discussion about why my mom and my dad wasn't together. Right. It was just like the thing. It was like the norm in the neighborhood. I don't think nobody in my neighborhood had a father and a mother in the house at the same time. So it was just like the thing. Right. So it never occurred to me to for that to be the dynamic, you know, of having two parents in the household, having to, I can't talk to mom, so let me go talk to my dad. And my dad only had me on the weekends, so we had limited time. Right. So in the limited time, we're not gonna be sitting there. He's not gonna ask me how I'm doing. How your feelings? How your feelings doing? Like, cause they from old school too. So it was like, feelings? What feelings?
Spell it. Spell feelings. Spell it. Spell it.
You ain't got no feelings. I don't work. All you do is sit around the house all day.
You ain't got no feelings.
Don't feel them dishes.
Yeah.
Right.
You better feel that room getting clean.
So, yeah.
Brandon, what about you?
No, not really. I think my family just never even addressed it. I mean, we addressed it if something came up, then we talked about it. But there's never something that, like, you know, how you're feeling is like something that was the main topic. It was more of just a byproduct of something that may have already happened. Not really for us, no. Yeah.
I think it's the fear for parents to ask your children how they're doing, and because you don't know what's going to come behind that. Yeah. I don't think it's intentional. I mean, some parents say maybe, but the majority are not intentional. I remember when our kids were all home, we would give them what's called a free fall. We would always be scared because of free falls, you can say whatever you want, however you want, as long as you're being respectful. Yeah. Baby, we have went in the room many a time going, maybe we shouldn't have asked that.
Question our whole existence.
You know, one of the middle one, he was like, I was an alcoholic. We look at each other like, well, where were we?
When did this happen?
Like, when?
Like, you was living with us?
You in the house?
He's like, yeah, I was living with y'all.
We look at him like, but what, you know, like, so I think a lot of times as parents, you don't want, it's very selfish that you don't ask. This is my personal, because you don't want what's gonna come behind it, because at that point you either gonna feel guilty or you're gonna feel like it's you, that you weren't there, you weren't available, you haven't been, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which it has nothing to do with us as parents, but we make it about us at that point instead of understanding this what you guys are going through. And so sometimes I think that the parents just don't want, you kind of want to know, but you really don't want to know, you know, and then you like, you know, the first time your child have sex or smoke weed or get it, you know, like you like drink or whatever those things are, you know, and they're just like, do I really want to know? But I think that's a hindrance that we've hindered a lot of our children, especially our male children, from saying what they feel, because what happens is then I'm going to ask all three of you guys, because you haven't had the opportunity to really express how you feel. Has it always been bottled up to a way that it's been self-destructive? I put it like that, if that makes sense, my question.
I'll let these gentlemen answer it first, and then I'll answer. But yeah, I'll let them answer it first.
I think for me, it definitely just transitioned in the way of becoming a workaholic. I mean, that's just a nicer term of saying it. I just, like, if I don't want to ever have to feel with anything, then I'll just go and do work.
Really?
Like, yeah. I will work myself till 4 o'clock in the morning.
Just so you don't have to feel anything that you're feeling.
Exactly. So I'll put something like a challenge in front of myself that's so hard. Like, I do coding on the side.
Right.
And I'll just code. And the thing with coding is that you're always figuring out something. You're always figuring out a challenge. So that if I don't have time to think about my emotions if I'm worrying about what's in front of me. So it's something like that, and just having to realize that, you know, maybe me putting my time into somewhere else really isn't as important, because it does bottle up. It does come out in different emotions, in different ways. So I just put it into work because I can actually see the fruits of working. Like I can get promoted from this, but I'm still struggling with something that I may have heard a year or two ago.
Wow.
Jay, what about you?
I'm going to say closet hoarder, because I can put everything, like I said, in the closet. Like shut the door on it and just keep going. You know, I don't see, if I don't see it,
out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Wow.
So that's how I think I do a lot of my stuff. And then sometimes you ain't be able to close that closet, and it overruns, and that's when you break, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll catch myself, because sometimes I get angry at the wrong people. Like I'll be yelling at my son for something like what am I doing? This ain't even nothing to be yelling at him about.
Yeah.
Or at my daughter or something. Or I take it farther than it needs to go. So you have to catch yourself with that. And I'm getting better at that. Just trying to deal with things before I put anything else in that closet.
For me, yeah. For the longest time, I still struggle with it to this day, if I'm being honest. I'm not a person. I'm just getting to the point where I can deal in emotion, or I can deal with feelings, or I can have a conversation about how I feel or how someone else feels. But for the longest time, I had 2 emotions. I had anger and mad. Those are my 2 emotions. And my default was mad. That was my default all the time.
Yeah.
So because I was never properly trained how to talk through it, how to deal with it, and it was a little bit about my story. So I've always struggled with the form of mental illness. For the longest time, depression for many years, really from the age of 11 to, I want to say 27, actually. Fought with depression, suicidal tendencies, suicidal thoughts, attempted suicide on a couple of different occasions. So I've always struggled with that. And it was always been a situation where I never knew how to channel my emotion, because growing up, I love my grandparents. I love them tremendously, but they didn't know how to deal with emotion. They didn't know. There's no way I could come and talk to them about anger or what I was feeling or what I was going through, and they meant well, but their answer for everything was just pray. That was the answer for everything.
Yeah.
Which in essence is right, but you got an 11-year-old kid that's going through some things, that's having a hard time, and you tell them just pray with no context, with no open dialogue, with nothing. So I struggled with that for a very long time. Actually, when you and I first met, because when we first met, I was almost about to go to jail when we first met, because I was going to put my hands on somebody, and it's for a long time. And I was like you, Jay. I was angry at the wrong people. So I'm screaming on people. I'm getting to confrontations with people, and it had really nothing to do with them. But I didn't know how to channel my anger or my emotions in a proper way.
Here's the thing. When you're talking about the pray about it,
right?
Absolutely. we're all Christians. We know praying about it, God will fix and do.
There's a power in prayer.
There's a power in prayer. But here's the thing: telling me to pray about it, but not letting me tell you what I'm feeling so I know to pray. What will happen is you will grow up resenting God, thinking he hasn't answered any of your prayers.
Yes.
And that's the truth. And I've seen so many young men who felt that way, like, why am I praying? He ain't answering it anyway. Because again, like you guys just said, no one showed them how to do that. Like, God, I'm going through this, go pray. But what am I saying to him? Can I talk to you? Can you lead me? Can you guide me? And I think, again, a lot of times that generation, they knew the power of prayer, but they should have knew the power of conversation as well. Yeah. So then men rose up to become very angry and bitter towards God because he didn't answer anything when I was 11 or 12. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did. So I just keep coming and he ain't answer nothing. You know what I'm saying? When he was answering, but because y'all didn't have the context to understand it, you couldn't even deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Can we talk about the elephant in the room for a moment?
Oh, the elephant's here. Oh, the elephant's here.
The elephant in the room. And this is maybe my experience. And gentlemen, if you've seen something different, if you've experienced something different, please chime in and let me know. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the times I think, especially like when we're in relationships, we're not allowed to have feelings. We're not allowed to express how we feel. Mm-hmm. Because from what I've seen and the conversations I've had, and guys, like I said, if you've seen something different, let me know. But I go to my significant other and I want to have a conversation with her about how I'm feeling, about the situation in our relationship. Mm-hmm. That conversation now get turned into, now she becomes a victim and what I'm saying is offending her. Mm-hmm. And now in the midst of my conversation, now I have to stop expressing how I feel. Mm-hmm. And now I have to comfort her. Mm-hmm. And now it's turned into a situation where now the conversation is about her emotions and her feelings and how I feel made her feel bad. Mm-hmm. And now the whole conversation is turned into something that was never meant to be. Mm-hmm. So after a while, I just stopped talking. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you guys experienced that or?
Somewhat. I think something close to that situation is like, it came down to, like you said, a communication thing.
Right.
It's like, this is what I'm feeling. Then they come back with what they're feeling. And it's like, they have, like, it comes to we don't talk a lot. So right. I'm not going to give you everything. I'm going to just give you these pieces and see how you react to that. Mm-hmm. Then you come back with me with 5. I only sent you 2. You know, I sent 2 your way. You came back with 5. Powerful 5. I'm like, oh, where all this been?
I only had a 22. You came back with an AK. That's unbalanced.
Okay, hold on. Now it feels like we getting jumped at this time. It's 5-1-2. You know? So, like you saying, like, I don't know what I end up bottling up. Then I'm gonna just come back. I'm gonna just throw a third in there, and that might be a very harmful third.
Right.
And now we just mad at each other. So nothing gets resolved, and I still ain't got to tell you how I'm really feeling, how we need to resolve it. Like you say, it ends up being more on your side, and I pretty much got to appease to you now, so we can live together.
So we can sleep tonight.
We can go to bed at some point. Yeah, we can go to bed at some point.
Yeah.
Some point in time tonight.
Right.
But yeah, that's my.
What about you?
No, I don't think I've had to experience that. Not yet.
That's a beautiful thing.
Not ever.
That's a beautiful thing. But baby, I want you to speak for the women folk. Now you're gonna be representative for every woman folk of your species.
Bless their heart. Bless y'all. Bless y'all.
Why do y'all do that?
No, let's just backtrack for a moment because I was listening to what you guys had to say, and if we're talking about childhood first, we just talking about the childhood,
right?
And people not listening and telling you to pray or whatever the case is. Sometimes, not all the time, when you do come, because those things trigger men, trigger you, you're already coming with a preconceived notion that this is how it's going to go. Because if you've told your mama how you feel, your grandmama, whoever, and they're like, listen, like you said, you ain't got no feeling. Go sit down and clean the room. Go read a book or whatever the case is. So you've already been groomed that way. So it does not matter how you present yourself to your significant other. There's always going to be something in the back of your mind feeling that she's not going to listen. She's not going to understand. She's not going to hear me. And I'm not saying that does not happen, but what happens is we have to understand what triggers us in that area because those are triggers, right? So that way you'll go, okay, before we go any further, I got to understand I have to be mindful and careful what words my significant other uses, say, or does that's going to trigger me to back off. Because sometimes it doesn't even, you tell the person how you feel and they ask you one question and that is it for y'all. That is, it's a done deal. And it's not that how they said or what they said, but it triggered something in you that your mama might have said or how your mother handled you. And you was like, not today, devil. Not today. And I think that sometimes as women, we do have to listen, but we're not making it about us, but we're doing what Sanchez said that I always do. I'm trying to take care of him without taking care of him. So me asking him these questions or saying, well, baby, how do you feel? And this is how I feel and this is how I see it. I'm thinking I'm giving him my perspective when he's saying I don't want your perspective. I just want you to listen. Right? So I'm thinking I'm taking care of him by giving him my perspective, but not understanding that sometimes just don't say nothing. Right? And let him express that. And sometimes for women, we just need to walk away with what he said, not take it personal at all, because that moment, if he said, this is how I feel, it has nothing to do with us. Right? It has nothing. But you got to understand too, with the women that happens to, what about that triggered her? Right? Like, what kind of relationship she had with her father, her brother, where every time she said something, he shut her down or wouldn't let her talk. So now she thinks she's got to get it out. So we got to remember that we're two people coming with baggage of stuff, a lot of stuff. For me personally, with Sanchez, because he doesn't talk all the time. So when he would come to me, I'm thinking I'm fixing. I'm like, well, baby, first of all, I hear what you're saying, and he'd be like, you didn't. You know why you didn't? Because you didn't let me finish. Because I'm thinking I'm ready to take care of him immediately, because I can see he's hurting. I can see he's going through something. And all I want to do is nurse him back to health. But the way that I'm doing it, by the time I finish, it does sound like, even after I do it, that I'm going me, wonderful me, right? Or, well, I know how you're feeling, but this is how you made me feel when you said it. And that's hurtful. And I think as women, we need to understand that men have emotions, but it's hurtful to them because at that point you made it about you and you did not hear me. Right? And I have made, not being hypocritical, I have made that mistake 1,000 times with my husband. And I'm like, and he just look, and then if he shuts down, I already know I messed up. I already know I messed up. And what I realized about was men, the ones that I know, there's no coming back for a while. There's no more conversation. We not doing a 5-minute timeout. Sanchez gonna need about 5 or 6 days. You know what I'm saying? Like he gonna need some days. And so I had to learn, and I'm still learning that because it's really a process, right? And I'm still learning to be like, okay, Angela, this has nothing to do with you. Don't take it personal. Okay, now be careful what you say, because if you say the wrong thing, he's gonna back out, number one, or because he wants to take care of me and my feelings, right? He's not going to give me the best of himself. He's not going to give me the best of the conversation that he wanted to give me at the time, because now he's like, okay, let me not get her feelings hurt, and then she going to cry. And then after she cried, then we're going to go to bed. And then I'm going to say what's wrong, and she ain't going to say nothing's wrong. When I know something wrong, then I'm going to go up and get something to drink. Then I'm asking if she want anything I can to get that. And it was he had, I'm just being transparent in our marriage, he had a disadvantage. Yeah. He literally had a disadvantage because I really thought I was doing something right, but I was really just not listening, period. So that's how I feel. So the sisters may be mad at me, but I just told the truth. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to let the guys talk for a second, but you proved my point.
What's that?
Because even with that, it was still a situation where you justified why they do what they do and made it more about us not understanding or us being triggered. When a lot of the times it's just as simple as, because everybody always want to talk about how men don't express themselves, men don't have feelings, men don't talk, men don't do this, men don't do that, men don't do this. But then once we do, it's certain parameters that we have to follow. Like women, there's certain parameters women don't have to follow. If you feel some kind of way, you are allowed to express how you feel. You're allowed to say what you want to say. You're allowed to say in the manner that you want to say it in, the tone that you want to say it in, the words that you want to use. Women do not have, understand, family, I'm talking in generals. Women don't have to have filters. When it comes to a man having a conversation about his mental health, about his state of mind, about his emotion and his feelings, he has to filter everything he says. Before I can say anything, I have to go through a checklist. How is my tone? How are my words? How's my body language? Am I too close? Am I not close enough? How is she going to perceive? There's so many checklists that we have to go through our head, because if our voice gets elevated too much, now the woman's scared, or now they feel some kind of way, or why are you yelling at me, or why are you doing this? And now by the time that it gets to, once again, like I was saying, by the time it gets to, I just wanted to tell you that I did not like the way you did that. It then went to, now I'm abusive, now I'm aggressive, why you yelling, why you being angry, why you doing this, why you doing that, and it then went through this whole thing, and it's turned into something that it never was. And now at the end of the conversation, now not only did I never get what I wanted to get out, now I gotta add some more to it, because now I'm mad at you now, because now I'm frustrated at you now, because now you done added some more frustration to, I just wanted to tell you I was hurting. I just wanted to tell you that that right now I am not doing well. But most of the times, and guys, if you see something different, or if you think I'm wrong, or add to it, but a lot of the times, just men in general, we're not allowed to have those conversations because there's so many checklists that we have to go through. There's not too many situations where a man can just be absolutely vulnerable. I mean, 100% vulnerable, 100% honest, 100% true in how they feel. There's not too many situations that we can do that because we always have to worry about, especially when we're dealing with our significant other, our spouse. We always have to worry about how are they going to perceive it.
Now, let me ask you a question, ask all of your question, but does that checklist just go for relationships or all through your life though?
I'll let you guys answer that first.
I would say through life. It has to be. But like you were saying, like, home should be where you can be your most vulnerable. But even when it's home, it's still hard for guys, especially like coming from my generation. It's still hard for us to really give you everything. So, like you said, you might give you this one right now and see how you deal with this one. And then I can start. I can start telling you, it's more than this right here. It's this too. But I don't want to delve into that right now. Let's handle this one first.
Gotcha.
And once we get done with this one, then we can progress to the 2 and the 3 until I feel completely cool with everything I have to say. Anything that happens, I can bring it straight to you.
Gotcha. Do you think that the reason I'm asking, do you think that you guys, I'm going to ask you right now, do you think you have to take that into corporate America, that same feeling that you got to filter and not keep your feelings to yourself? Like, do you feel that? Like in the marketplaces, they call it, in corporate America, or wherever you work, or wherever you go, that you have to feel that way?
Yeah, I try to keep work, and my feelings. Because if you allow if you allow the two to come together, then I believe that sometimes if the feelings get the best of you, then it'll mess up your work. So I try to keep, the corporate, and I keep my feelings. And once I clock out at 5 o'clock, if I had a bad day, then after that, then I'll just face it then. But I know that I got a job to do, because I'm sitting here crying at my desk. My job not getting done.
Yeah.
And simply as that, my supervisor, thankfully that my supervisor now cares. But, in previous jobs, man, you better grab you a tissue and get right back to it.
Yeah. And being in a leadership role, there's no way I can bring any kind of problem from home to work and try to lead a team with that in my mind, because I'm gonna end up saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing, and they ain't really do nothing worth all of this anger, which I see a lot with a lot of people out at the job. They bring a lot of stuff from home to work, and it never ends up well. It's gonna end up with an argument with somebody, and you're probably gonna get sent home.
Or you gonna go home.
You gonna go somebody, or you end up getting split up.
So what's the solution?
Well, hold on. Let me answer. Before we go into that, what's the solution? The question was, do I do it throughout just relationship throughout my entire life? So we're going to have a real honest conversation. I am a 6'4", 290-pound black man in the South. I have to filter everything I do at all time. I have to. I have to go through a checklist in every situation I'm in, because where my Caucasian counterparts can express themselves in a situation, can say that they were wronged or say how they feel about the situation in public, and it's expected, and all they're doing is defending themselves or whatever you want to say. I do the same thing. Now I'm a criminal. I'm aggressive. Now the cops are coming. Now I'm a threat. Yes. And now all I wanted to do was return a pair of sneakers. And now it went from that to the cops are being called, and I don't know if I'm going to make it out the store. And whether family wants to accept that reality or not, that is a reality. Yes. So I have to filter every conversation I have. I have to filter every emotion I have. I have to go through a checklist in everything that I do, because I cannot afford. I am a father of 4 and a grandfather of 3. I cannot afford not to come home. So if that means that I have to swallow until my stomach hurts sometimes. Then sometimes I have to swallow until my stomach hurts sometimes, if that means me getting home. So to answer your question, yes, every waking moment.
Y'all all agree? You both agree?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
No, I'm sorry, you had a question.
No, I was just thinking, like, so what's the solution for you guys when you feel that way? Because this can't be forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for you guys, how do you find a way or a resolve or a way to be able to communicate? Because we know therapy. I believe we are full believers of therapy. Yes. Full believers of therapy. And so what ways, because I believe therapy, especially someone who doesn't know, you don't have any skin in the game, you can really go all out. You know what I'm saying? You can just say whatever, it ain't like she know your cousin, your mama, your wife, nobody, right? Or he knows them. You can go all out. What helps you guys with this? Because that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what helps you guys? Have you ever thought about having therapy or going somewhere and talking to someone other than the people who are close to you?
I want Brandon to answer first because he's been quiet this whole time.
You've been quiet, Brandon.
I want Brandon to answer first.
Hey, Brandon.
I think, I've been going to therapy since about May.
Wow. Okay.
And I've loved everything about it. Because my therapist tells me things about myself that I've never even really come into like agreement with, like that I'm a perfectionist. Not in the area that everything has to be precise, but I like my life to be perfect.
Wow.
So she tells me a lot. And I tell her, man, I don't like to pay you to tell me the truth.
I pay you to listen. Thank you, ma'am. Right.
But I do love every second about it, just because you can be yourself, and you can tell them about what you're going through, how life really is, and just the genuineness of it. And they're skilled and they're trained to tell you about things that really matter. They're not just here listening to you and then giving their opinion. They're telling you things off what they've studied. And back to the statement of when people say just pray, like there's a reason why God gave us doctors. And there's a reason why God gave people the gift to listen and to give back information.
They're gifts.
So your healing really may be in therapy. It don't got to be in the prayer that you fasted for 40 days.
Right.
And you didn't eat. You don't have to do that majority of the time. So I think for me, I've loved therapy. It's been a great blessing in my life. So.
Wow. How about you?
I haven't done therapy yet, but I keep I hear a lot that I should at least try it out. But it comes back to like, who am I? Who are you?
Tell me your name again. It's Andy. Okay, Andy.
Me telling you my life story, and I think once I get into it, I'll probably accept it more. But
So how do you
just
cope
getting
now?
through
Then?
the door.
So how do you get through it now then? So like you said, you haven't done therapy yet. You're thinking about it possibly down the line. But so right now, as you sit here today, when those feelings come and the anger comes and those thoughts come, so how do you navigate it now?
Pretty much like I've always done, just bottle it, put it in that closet. And sometimes, like I say, I can't shut the door. So I end up having to call my mom, and then I just sometimes I break down. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna front for nobody, but sometimes you do. Sometimes you need a good cry and just to break down. And mom will tell you. My mom she's all about the Bible, so she's gonna tell me everything that I need to hear and what I need to read and just to know that she's there,
Yeah.
And if I need anything, if I need to talk to somebody, then she's always there. But like you said, I need somebody other than her sometimes, so I might want to go ahead and get that therapist. But because it get kind of hectic when you let that closet get full and all that stuff going on, and you ain't dealt with it yet.
Yeah, I'll say one thing to that thing about you're not really knowing them. I think that's the importance of at least trying to vet like a therapist out first. But then that's the cool thing. Like they don't know nothing about you. They don't know your family to go ask them like what you really think about them. They know about what you tell them. That's the point of the honesty of it, because then they can only help you through that. But I think that's the cool thing is like my therapist can't call my mom and be like, hey, let me tell you what Brandon told me. And it's protected because technically, if they go tell somebody, you can sue them. Yeah. You ain't got to work no more. You be good right there.
That is true.
You good to go. Put your feet up. Put your feet up.
So,
what about you, Mr. Crenshaw?
I am a huge believer in therapy. I have been through therapy a few times in my life, if I'm being honest. So some voluntarily, some involuntarily.
Right.
If we're being honest. But I'm a strong believer. I need to get back into it right now. I had a therapist. She reminded me too much of one of my aunties. And so I had to fire her. I didn't really like her approach, how she was dealing with me. So I'm going to have to find another one. I'm not good at coping right now, if I'm being honest. Like my emotions, my feelings, I'm not. What I do is not healthy, I'll be honest. And what I say this is going to sound crazy. I create a alternate reality in my head is what I do. I create a whole new world, a whole new reality within my head. And I live a life within that reality for a brief moment in time into the feelings, as you say, they closet themselves. And then once the feelings closet themselves, then I come out of the alternate reality and I go back into my own reality. That's not healthy. That I may need medication. I'm not sure. I may. I'm not joking about that. I may. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
There.
But and I know the techniques. I know what needs to be done. I just don't want to deal with it all the time. And sometimes it really just comes to that, why men don't talk and why men don't go through their emotions. Just sometimes we have so much to deal with. I don't want to deal with it. I'm like,
life keeps going.
Yeah, it keeps going.
Life keeps, like, this time don't stop.
I will keep quoting Pastor Chet Pete. Life be lifing.
Oh, it do. Right on time.
All the time, life be lifing. And Jay, I'm like you. Like my day is spent thinking for other people. That is my entire day. My day is, from the basic of things to the most complexity of things. I got questions and meetings all day. I don't have time to deal with. Okay, my feelings hurt. Dog, I ain't got time. I ain't got time to decipher through this. I ain't got time to figure out why my feelings hurt right now. I'll deal with that later. And then later becomes 3 weeks. And then later becomes next year. And then now I'm watching some random commercial and I'm crying. I'm trying to figure out.
Cat food.
They talking about cat food.
Cat food.
Why am I crying? I don't even like cats. Why am I crying? And then we start the cycle all over again.
But that can't be so.
Why not?
It cannot be so.
It's been working.
No, it cannot be so.
Okay, it ain't been working, but we dealing with it.
It cannot be so for any of you guys. That's not your portion. And I think you have to put yourself first. And it's so crazy because when you hear put yourself first, the first thing people think about is women. Yeah. That immediately. Yeah. As soon as you say put yourself, they be like, girl, yes, you do. And I'm like, okay. No, everybody needs to put. Let's take the ginger. Let's take the label, as Pastor Frederick say, off the table. As a human being, we have to put ourselves absolutely first. I have to literally force him. Like last Saturday, I said, "Hey, babe, what are you gonna do today?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna do the laundry." If I said, "Okay," and we're done today, and we're done. Get a shower and get out this house. I'll treat you to the movies, treat you to, but you got to get about this house because his mind is my wife, my kids, my job, my finances, and making sure that I'm covering everything. And that should not be so. And as significant others and as family members, we have to make y'all stop. Like, I love you. We went away not so long ago. I made him leave the house and go to a hotel. While I was away, I said, you going to go away too. Go in a hotel with your game. I don't care what you have to do, but you need it for yourself. So now he's upset because now I've been throwing him out the house because
she literally throws me out the house.
Holy world.
Why can't he stay here?
No, because here means
it's my safe place.
You have to understand.
Yeah.
What's even more dangerous, remember, we already work from home. Yeah. So he's here all day working from home, right? And then he's cleaning the house. Right? Yeah. And then we're talking in the house.
We love a clean house, though.
Love a clean house. However, no. Absolutely. Because now's the time I have to strong arm him, right? Yeah. Because he has to go find something. There's life greater than just his wife and his kids. And some wives and their children may feel different, but I don't feel different. I feel like there's something so much greater for him as an individual. There's a book that needs to be wrote. There's a play that needs to be done. There's some spoken word that needs to be done. He has to have a life outside of us. He has to have a life outside of us. And what I've done is I've allowed him to have this alternate universe, right? To kind of be like, okay, let me leave him alone. Don't rock the boat and all that stuff. But ladies, we have to rock the boat. It is dangerous. It is dangerous to let your counterparts, whether it's your uncle, your grandfather, your brother, your niece, your nephew, if you see it, you're going to have to say something. You're going to have to do something no matter how mad they get, because I can watch him do that and be like, I can be like, well, that's nice. I know where my man at. He home. No.
He home, but he ain't home.
But he ain't home. right? And there's things that
I'll
he
be
should
here.
be doing.
I'll be here.
Baby,
He
you
be
just told him.
chilling.
You
He
just
chilling at the
did,
house.
Did y'all just hear the man say he was at Alton University?
Yeah, but it's not long. No, I don't be there for long. No,
No,
it just be a brief moment.
no, you're getting
brief
out of
moments in time.
No,
I be
no.
time traveling.
He know I will be like, enough of you. You've got. I have to love him enough to understand that we came in as individuals first.
Yes.
And what has happened, and I'm not saying all women, I love you. This is not about y'all, so get over yourself. This is about men's health. What I am saying is that we have to back up and be like, what can I do for you? What is self-care for you? What is it that I can do? Because what I don't want to do is one day wake up and he's not here. And I didn't do anything about it.
I just went to the store.
No, don't play with me.
What'd you get at the store?
Don't play with me.
Probably some juice. I love juice. I drink more juice
He's
than
at the
water. That's
store.
not good.
Listen,
at the store.
I have to force the man to go to the store, y'all. Y'all ain't listening to me. I'm telling you, I have to be like, baby, go to the store. Go outside. His thing of going outside, y'all, is checking the mailbox. He be like, I'll be right back, baby. Go to check the mailbox.
That's fun though.
He said, no.
It's a gift.
He
got
be-
fresh air.
No,
What'd I get?
This is what he said. This is what he says to me. Let me go do something I did in a couple of days.
Yeah.
I said, okay, he about to do something. It's about check the mail, bro. If you don't get
No, we're going to stop talking about me. I got questions for the gentleman. We're going to.
No, hold pause.
no,
No,
this-
no.
You said you wasn't even going to talk a lot.
I wasn't going to talk a lot. So now that we're talking about that, what are you guys doing for your, especially you, because you're a dad.
Yeah.
You have 3 babies, 2 babies and 1 dog. So it's still 3 babies, right? What are you doing for yourself? Especially a man who could travel around the world.
But see, actually, let me do my question first, and then because it ties in.
Okay, tie it in, baby.
perfectly.
Tie it in.
So yours bookends mine.
Go ahead.
Mine.
Go mines. Go ahead.
So before you answer the question, what do you do for yourselves? I need you to go back for a moment. We teach our daughters all the time about their self-worth and their worthy. As a young man, were you ever taught about yourself, about your worth, about your self-worth, about being worthy of being happy, about being worthy of being whole? Were you ever taught that as a young man?
Oh, I thought you said something else. Go ahead.
I said, don't do that. This ain't an after dark episode.
Oh,
At night.
I know you was being serious, but I was like, wait a minute, baby. Where you going with that? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Don't do that. What's up with you, Brandon?
I think I kind of told myself. And I know that my parents never, I mean, they taught me, worth and all that, finding my worth in Jesus and all that. But I think for myself, looking around, I found a lot of my worth still to this very much day. And just what I attain, like what title I can attain, how much money do I make, like what kind of car do I drive. And it's all like exterior things. And I find a lot of my worth in my job. Like if you tell me the project that I just did was awful, best and believe I will take that home and I'll make it 10 times better. And I'll do better, but just know that you kind of hit close to home with that. I'll never tell you. I mean, I have a smile on my face and you never know, but I found a lot of my worth in my exterior things, with what I can do with myself, with my hands and all that. So I'm sure my parents definitely have taught it. It's a matter of if I really attained it and if I really applied it to myself. Because I kind of gave my own self the self-worth because I have goals that I want to attain by the time I'm a certain age. So I think that my worth ultimately sometimes, and I have to remind myself that, hey, like your worth is not in your work. Your work, because you can be fired tomorrow.
Right.
Your worth is not in your car because you can come out tomorrow and get in a wreck and that car's gone. But just finding the worth that, hey, like, listen, there's going to be a day where you die and you'll stand before Jesus and, what you find your worth in, like your treasures, like that's where your heart is at.
Wow.
So just really attaining back to that is really the goal of it. I think just finding my worth is that I'm enough. That's all I need to have my worth in. But I think that's easier said than done majority of the time because, that's not my default setting, but I'm trying to make it.
Say, what about you?
I guess growing up, like my mom was all about scripture. She was like a new Christian when we was coming up. So all she knew was you're more than a conqueror. You're 10 times wiser than the next. But like you would say that before you go to school, you get anointed, get your anointing oil on you
Every day.
forehead, yeah,
That's right.
on your forehead, yeah. So like you knew that you had some type of worth for her to do that. So. But on my dad's side, it was like, boy, why you doing this? Why you doing that? So it was like, I knew my worth, but it's like, then you got like sin, and then it's like you said, you got to pretty much figure this thing out yourself.
Trying to
like,
figure out where you fall.
Where my worth, where I fall, So I knew I had worth. I knew I was trying to be something, but I ain't never like put a value towards my worth, So it was just, I knew I had to be good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know I had to be good. I know I had to be better than them. pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Be better than us. Like pretty much what I tell my kids now. Be better than me.
Right.
Like I've done this before. I've seen it. I've done it. Be better than me. You know your worth. You know they do their scriptures just like we had to do. But I try to explain to them like a conqueror is something. It's somebody that's done achieved something.
Right.
But the God's telling you more than that. You even more than that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that should prove to you how much you're worth to Him.
Yeah.
And you're just as valuable to us. And you got to be that way to yourself. Yeah. Don't do this for me. Don't do nothing for me. Do it for yourself. So you don't be where I am now. You be better than me where I am.
Yeah.
I think what Brandon said kind of touches home for me. I was never really, it's a combination of both. Like I said, I've talked about it before. I grew up in a Baptist ministry home. My grandfather was a Baptist minister. He was doing, the multi-campuses before multi-campuses was a thing. So that's why I grew up. I grew up in the Bible. I grew up in Sunday school and church and scripture. I grew up in Old Testament, though. We ain't really touch about New Testament. I grew up in Old Testament.
Talking about the prophets.
Yes.
Jesus.
They growing up in the Old Testament. That's a little different. You know what I'm saying? We talked about the fear of God. We didn't really touch on the love of God. But as far as like individually, like for Chaz, for young Chaz, what does it mean for me to be? What is my worth? I was never taught that. They didn't know how to have that conversation. Yeah. So like many men, I tied everything into what I can produce with my hands. So I say it all the time. I didn't learn a lot from my father, but I learned my work ethic. The one thing, you may be smarter than me, you may be better than me, but the one thing you will never do is outwork me. You will never outwork me.
Wow,
and so,
guys,
and I tied that into my wealth. I tied that into my worth. The jobs that I had or the positions that I held or the work. And so like you said, but if I lose that job, now I've lost a part of me. And a lot of men grow up that way. And a lot of men today still have that. That's why the dirty little secret that no one really likes to talk about is that when it comes to gender, the suicide rate is higher in men.
Oh, yes.
Than it is anyone else. Yeah. It's because they lose that job, they lose their family, they lose their finances, and they don't know what to do because we're all taught, and that's the thing. It's common, whether you're black, white, Asian, I don't care what you are. From a man perspective, you're taught that if you can't provide, if you can't take care of, you can't protect, you're not worth anything. You're worthless. Yeah. So if your job doesn't sustain you, your family, and if you're not able to protect your family, you're nothing. And that's what a lot of men deal with on a daily basis because what we were taught to tie who we are into, we can't control it. I can't control if I go into my job, no matter how, because I've been there. I gave a company my all. I gave them everything. I was there early and there late. I was putting in 16, 17, 18-hour days. Yes. Yeah. There was time that I went to work on a Saturday and I didn't come home until Tuesday. And they had no problem with doing a Fridays to me, Craig, and bringing me in on my day off to fire me.
Sure did.
And so, and if I didn't have a wife that loved me and that talked into me and that talked life into me, that would have ended me. Yeah. So, and unfortunately, there's a lot of men that live that life where everything they do because they've only been taught that their worth is tied into what they bring home every 2 weeks. So that leads back into my wife's beautiful question. So Brandon, so what do you do? So right now, when you know that it's getting too much, so what do you do to take care of yourself? Because that was the question, right? So what do you do?
Yeah.
Like if I'm having a rough day?
Yeah. In general, even if you're not having a rough day, what do you do to take care of you? I have 3 questions, but go ahead. Let's start with that one.
I think it all comes down to the situation that it is.
Okay.
If it's something that I can handle within myself, then I'll do that. If not, then I'll, incorporate God. I'll definitely pray about it, and then I'll call people that I trust and I'll talk to them about it. And I kind of really open myself up to the opinions that they give and just apply it. Because at that point, everything that I tell myself is either just a lie or it's just me telling myself to get myself through it. So I think it depends on the situation. Depends on how I get out of it or through it. But usually that's what I go to. If I can handle it by myself, then I'll just do that. Or I'll just block it out. I'll get on social media. I'm still on TikTok for 2 hours. I forgot that I was having a bad day. I've been laughing so hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back to that question. Go ahead.
I do it. Yeah. Pretty much do the same thing. I'll just find something to take my mind off everything that's going on. I use music sometimes. I might just start cleaning up and just put some music on and just be grooving or go back to grandma's house. That's what you was doing, watching her clean, and you cleaning while we listen to music. Or I take myself to the movies. I don't have no problem going to the movies by myself.
Yeah.
Going on a Tuesday, $5.
Come on, $5 Tuesday.
$5 everything Tuesday.
Popcorn, everything.
You'd be like, Dad, you want to go to the movies? Not on no Friday.
See
I'm
you
not
on
paying full
Tuesday.
price.
Full price.
But yeah, I do that. Or I just spend time with my kids. I get them. We'll get a game or something. I know it's gonna be loud because my son always trying to bend the rules to his so he can win. So anything like that. Or now every morning, just to clear my head, I do it for the dog, but it's good for me too. I walk. I get out. I go to the walking park early in the morning, and I see so many people out there, and I was like, man, why haven't I been doing this all along? Just to go and walk, and just it's so quiet when it's that early in the morning, around about 8, 9 o'clock. Yeah. It's so quiet, and now it's a little cool, and just to go walking around the park, and you can just listen. Don't have no music on or nothing, just out there, and then you can just really clear a lot of things up. Silence is really good sometimes.
Powerful.
Silence is very powerful.
Yes, it is, boy.
You can get a lot of things worked out in silence.
This is the truth. How about you, Mr. Crenshaw?
Oh, I'm a gamer, so that's what I do. So when it's too much, or I just need to get away, or I'm a gamer, so I turn on my PlayStation and pick a game and I go kill people. That's what I do.
Do you guys?
That's what I do. That's what I do.
You guys
You
feel,
respond on video games. You can take your frustration down.
You know what I'm saying?
killing everybody that move, anything that
Everybody.
move. Yeah. Do you guys think that it is selfish to put yourself first?
I don't now. I used to.
Yeah.
Because I was taught to be selfless. I was taught to serve.
Yeah.
I was taught that as a man, my only job was to raise a family, protect a family, provide for my family. That's how I was raised. So to get to a point where I have to think about self first, that's still a struggle for me, if I'm honest.
How about you? You think it's selfish to put yourself first? Like, I'm gonna go on Tuesday. I don't want the kids. I love y'all. I just want to go do this by myself. I just want to go be.
I don't think it's so. I think it's very much needed on sometimes. Like when it's piling up and then it get there, man. You got Dad. I got recital on Wednesday, basketball practice, rhythm night. All this stuff, all this going on. I need this for chorus. I need this. Dad, you gonna sign me up for basketball? When is it? Oh man, man, did I miss the deadline? It's like a lot of stuff, and you gotta get away sometimes. If you don't, it's like I said, that closet fills up, man, and you don't want it to fill up, man.
Yeah. How about you?
I think I more view it as investing in yourself because I can't really give out if I don't got nothing in myself. But I wouldn't say so now because I think that. Right now it's just me. I'm going to take care of myself. Yeah. So I don't have the responsibilities that, like, okay, well, I have to get home and tend to. I don't have to get home and tend to a wife or anything like that. So I think that just making sure that, I have enough time invested in myself and that I don't create a world full of everybody else that I forget about myself, that I wouldn't really consider it selfish.
He's so deep.
Ain't he deep?
Brandon's so deep.
Just so deep.
I wasn't that deep.
When
I didn't have kids, I used to get in trouble. You know what I mean? That's when I would get into trouble. That's when I would have to get away just to stop from getting into trouble. And it wasn't like killing somebody, or I know it was damaging to me and my spirit. Yeah, what I was doing to myself. So it wasn't necessarily I was doing something to somebody else. Right. It was I know this is. Everybody hear that voice like, man, you ain't supposed to be doing that.
Go sit your chill down.
You ain't supposed to be doing it. But I'm doing it anyway. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys one more question.
What's up, baby?
The question is, what would you, first of all, backtrack, for Brandon, because he's so deep. I think the fun part of watching you grow up, because we've known you for a while, is the fact because you do go to older men that are older than you. Yeah. And you listen. And you get wisdom from the older men. And the Bible says that the younger men will go to the older men and get wisdom, right? And so I've watched you go to different people who are older than you, like Sanchez and other people, and just listen. And I think that, and plus you have your family members and stuff like that. But I think being with men of integrity and character, to be around them and ask them those questions and get wisdom from them, I think that it's going to carry you a long way. I mean, you're beyond, how old are you again?
22.
I just want to punch you in the face. Just want to punch you in the face.
How you gonna say you're amazing, but I'm gonna punch you in the face?
That means
go
I
to
love
threaten
him. That
them.
means I love him. But
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
crazy.
But for you to be that age and the wisdom that you have now, right, is gonna blow your mind when you get older. I did want to say that. So my question to you guys is, what would little Brandon and Jay and Sanchez, what would you say to the younger you now that you know what you know now? When it comes to self-care and taking care of yourself and putting yourself first and all of those things in therapy, what would you say to him now?
I'm gonna let these gentlemen go first.
I'll go first. I think one thing that I learned in therapy was that my therapist always said that you got to remember there's a little child, and don't talk to yourself how you talk to a little child. Like you have to be able to interpret things in the way that you'd want to receive it.
Right.
So I think the one thing that I always say to myself is it's gonna be okay. Because for myself, listen, if I don't think it's gonna be okay, I will spiral. I will literally go out of control to make sure that I make it work because I don't think that it's going to be okay.
Right.
But if I have an understanding, like, okay, this is going to work out. It's going to be hard, but it's going to work out. I think that'll give me, may not give me all comfort. I may not have all the comfort in the world, but I may have 1% and that's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I think that'll save me a lot of peace and a lot of trouble. Not having to figure things out and just be like, it's going to be okay. You're going to be all right. God's got you. I think that's probably it for me.
You don't have total control.
Exactly. We never really did have control. It's just an illusion.
It's an illusion. How about, what would you tell little Jay now that you know what you
Little
know
Jay,
now?
I just tell him, hey man, don't rush yourself to get. I tell myself to love yourself, love your life, the life that you have. It's like it's a really good song by J. Cole, and it's "Love Yours."
Great song.
It's like there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. There's no such thing because everybody has problems. Everybody has something they're going through. No matter how much money you got,
Yes, Lord.
like you gotta love what you have, and that kind of gets me through my daily thing now. Is I love what I have. I love that I do have a son and a daughter that loves me and they look up to me and they want to be with me. That like they call me, hey, Dad, can I come over? Of course you can. What do you mean? Of course you can come over.
Right.
Like if I'm at the house, you come on. Like,
Right.
like and that's pretty much what I would tell them. Other than Tesla and Apple. And,
Get some stock.
Get some stock.
Samsung, and throw a couple names out. Because my life.
Start learning the stock market early.
Start early.
Yes.
What would you tell little Sanchez?
I would tell little Chaz to stop. I spent so much of my younger life just moving, not stopping to think, not paying attention, just moving. Everything I did was a reaction, and the reactions got me in situations that I never should have been in. That if I would have just stopped for a moment and just stop. So that's what I would tell them: just stop.
Wow.
And just pay attention, and it's not as bad as you think it is.
Yeah.
Because every situation, because during that time of my life, every situation was end of the world situation for me. That I did not think I was going to come out of it. That I did not think there was going to be a tomorrow. And I would have just told them that the sun is going to shine. Just stop. That's what I would have told them.
That's good advice.
On that one, we can do this all day. But I want to be respectful of everyone's time. I love talking to you, gentlemen.
Guys,
I
love being with
you guys being
man.
a part of this.
Yes.
Yeah, this is wise men. So you've done this before, so you know how we end the show. So we end the show with a final thought. So and I'm gonna keep it going. I'm gonna keep going to Brandon first. So Brandon, what is your final thought for the family?
I think the final thought for it is just that, our mental health matters at the end of the day. I think there's a big portion of our life. There's a reason we have emotions and feelings. And that, it's important to invest in ourselves and invest in the things that matter. Do the things that matter to us. Like if you like playing basketball, play basketball, then like re-energize yourself. So I think that's a thing that, and you can't avoid bad days. In my perfect world, I wish I could, but I can't.
Right.
But I think just, having that time. It really is. It's just investing in myself. So for sure.
Yeah.
Jay?
Final thought. You see, I would say, man, like I say, this mental health is a real thing, and we used to throw it off. Man, you soft, but there's nothing soft about taking care of yourself,
Right.
and being vulnerable. There's nothing wrong with being vulnerable now, and that's what I would tell my generation. Like, it's okay, man. It's okay to break down, man. It's okay to let somebody know you ain't doing right. You ain't doing well.
Yeah.
And just talk about it. find somebody to talk to. I done seen a lot of people like end it, and you'll never know because they the same person every day. And then next thing you know, they not here anymore. So talk to your people, tell them you love them. We doing a good thing. Me and my dad's side of the family, where the kids, like we telling each other every day. Every day we love you, man. We got something that's way out, and we got something that's close.
Yeah.
So, but we just tell them, man, we love you.
Yeah.
Because it's all mental, man.
Love it.
And yeah.
Babe, what you got?
I think Brandy wanted to say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say one thing, and I'll stop right there. Just like I
You're
think
fine.
one thing that really matters is just understanding that people really do love and care about you.
Yes.
Right.
I actually read in the book yesterday, and it's crazy, but actually 800,000 people kill themselves a year every 40 seconds, and I thought that was like that'd really take the air out of a room.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's all because somebody may have not believed that nobody really cares. So I just want to say that, man. Your voice matters. People care about you at the end of the day, no matter what the circumstance.
Yeah. Wow.
Babe, what you got?
Get your thought out.
No, because you're going to do an essay.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to do an essay. Go ahead, baby. You go ahead.
My final thought, I'm going to piggyback off Jay just for a moment. Gentlemen, you have someone that you can talk to. Find someone to talk to. You don't have to do this alone. You don't have to feel alone. Your feelings matter. Do not allow anyone to invalidate your feelings, to invalidate your emotions. You don't invalidate your feelings. You don't invalidate your emotion. You have a right to feel the way you feel, but just know how to work through it, learn how to work through it, and find someone to talk to. That's my final thought. Find someone to talk to.
My final thought is thank you. Like, I don't know what other subject I had to come up with to bring y'all two back, but I'm going to figure something out. I just don't know what subject. I'm going to find something. No, because I just appreciate the fact that you guys are transparent, and you, all three of you men are transparent, and you're real, and we're honest. And I just want to say thank you so much for blessing us to come and talk on the mic, because there's someone that's going to be changed. Someone's going to be blessed by what you two said today. And I just want to say thank you so much. And that we greatly, I know you'll say it yourself, appreciate that you guys, we're honored, seriously. You know, we don't bring a lot of people back twice. We be like, that one time, that was great. That was great right there. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but we're going to find another subject. Y'all be back. But anyway, that's all I had to say, babe.
As my wife said, just thank you guys. Both of you bring so much to the table.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
bring so much wisdom, so much joy, just so much life. And like Ann said, I know that somebody is going to be blessed by what you said. Just the fact, like you say, Jay, you are a single father. You are showing men what it looks like. That is not the ideal situation. Of course, you would want a situation where you and your children are in the same home at all the time. But unfortunately, life sometimes gets in the way. That's not the situation all the time. But it does not mean that you still can't be a father. It still doesn't mean that you still can't be present. Yes. It still doesn't mean you can't be a foundation and a factor in their lives on a day-to-day basis. Yes. And you're showing men that it is possible to do, and it is being done. Well. And also what you're doing, what I love about you, is that you're breaking the narrative that black men are not fathers. You're breaking the narrative that all black men do is cut and leave and they don't raise their kids. And you're showing people that is not true. There are black men that are involved in their kids' life, that are raising their kids, that are being an example for their kids. And so just thank you for that. Yeah. And then Brandon, just for you, sir.
22.
I forget. I honestly forget.
No, he was 22.
Yes.
I thought he was like 28.
That you're barely legal.
23 on Sunday.
Come on, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
That you are barely legal.
Wow.
But you are showing young people, you are showing young men that you can still live a life of integrity, that your age means nothing, that you can live a life of character, a life of integrity, that you can still, that you are not perfect, but you still push forward. Yeah. And just thank you for being an example for young people, for being an example for young men, showing them that it can be done a different way, that you don't have to live your life the way that society says that you have to. Absolutely. That, but I'm 22, I can sow my oats and I can be wild and I can do this and I can do that. Oh, because I'm young. I only live once. You only young once. But you're showing them that's not the case. You're showing them there is a different way to do it, that you can still live a life of fun, that you can still enjoy your life, but still be a man of integrity and still be a man of honor. So just thank you for everything you bring to the
Yes.
table.
I appreciate that, yo.
And because I'm gonna be honest, and this is just me being, sir, if I was 22, would look like you, bro, boy, they'd be dangerous. Boy, I'm telling you, boy. Boy, it'd be dangerous in these streets, boy. I'm telling you, with a smile, boy, I'm telling you, boy, it'd be dangerous.
And he's smart.
And he's smart too, and he got a good head, and he, as the old people said, the boy articulate.
He what?
The boy articulate.
He articulate.
The boy's articulate. Boy, it'll be dangerous in these streets. So
You hit the big one this time, Lisa. The boy got his own money.
He got his own money. He articulate.
the boy articulate.
And he loved the God. He loved God.
That boy got the chiseled features.
Woo.
Look like it's marble. But on that note, family,
We do it to him every time. He be so
Every time.
embarrassed. He be like, oh, come on,
I do it on
guys.
purpose. Because I know it embarrassed him. I do it on purpose. But no. So family, we thank you for listening.
Family, oh my God.
Family, we thank you for being a part. However you listen, whether it's on iTunes, whether it's Podbean, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Amazon Music, whether it's Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or on our own personal website at www.thecrenshawcorner.com.
Yes.
Of course, we consider ourselves an interactive podcast,
'Cause we
which
are.
means we can be found on the socials. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, and we're on TikTok.
Where?
All under the Crenshaw Corner. And of course, you can email us at any time at thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com. Once again, thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com.
Yes.
And as always, family, welcome to our journey.
We love you guys. Bye.